You've spent months, maybe even years, building a fortress around your peace, only for it to be tested by 3 simple words on a glowing screen. When a narcissist texts you, out of the blue, after a long silence, it's rarely a message of love. It's a tactical strike against your progress. That buzz in your pocket isn't a sign they've changed. It's a sign they're hungry for the version of you that used to keep them fed and validated. I see you standing there, staring at your phone with that familiar, sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Your heart is racing, your hands might even be shaking, and suddenly, all that hard-earned healing feels like it's evaporating. It's a specific kind of psychological intrusion that feels like someone just walked into your house without knocking. You thought they were gone for good, but here they are, acting like nothing happened. The text is usually something intentionally low stakes, something designed to be impossible not to answer. A simple, "Hey, thinking of you," or maybe a photo of a place you once visited together. It's a breadcrumb, a tiny piece of bait thrown into the water to see if you're still biting. They want to know if the door is still unlocked. They want to know if they still have the power to disrupt your nervous system with a click. You start wondering if this is the moment. Maybe they finally hit rock bottom. Maybe they went to therapy and realized how much they hurt you. You want to believe in the human capacity for growth because you have that capacity yourself. But you have to remember who you are dealing with. A narcissist doesn't reach out because they miss your soul. They reach out because they miss the way your soul made them feel about themselves. This out-of-the-blue message is a calculated move, timed with the precision of a predator. It often comes exactly when you've finally started to move on, or when their current source of attention has started to dry up. It's not a coincidence that they chose today. They are checking their supply levels, and you are an old battery they're trying to jumpstart. It's about utility, not intimacy. It's about them, never about you. Think about the silence that preceded this. All those weeks or months where they didn't care if you were breathing or crying. They were perfectly fine with the void until they needed something. Now, the silence is inconvenient for them, so they break it. It's a total lack of respect for your boundaries and your healing process. They expect you to be standing exactly where they left you, waiting to be used again. It's incredibly arrogant. You might feel a surge of guilt if you don't respond. You think, what if I'm being the mean one now? That's the good person trap they've spent the whole relationship setting for you. They count on your empathy, your manners, and your desire for closure to keep you engaged. But closure is something you give yourself. It's not something they can ever provide. Their text isn't an invitation to talk, it's a request to be allowed to hurt you again. We're going to peel back the layers of this specific manipulation today. We're going to look at what is actually happening in their mind when they hit send after all this time. Because once you understand the mechanics of the Hooverer, the message loses its magic. It stops being a mystery and starts being a red flag. You aren't losing a chance at reconciliation. You are being given a chance to prove to yourself that you are finally free. I want you to take a deep breath and put the phone down for a second. Feel the floor beneath your feet. You are safe, you are in the present, and you are no longer that person who was desperate for their crumbs. This text is a ghost from a past you've already survived. We are going to make sure that this ghost doesn't get to live in your head anymore. Stay with me, because the truth about this message is the final key to your liberation. By the time we're finished, you won't be staring at that screen wondering why. You'll be looking at it with a clear, calm understanding of their desperation. You'll see the out-of-the-blue text for what it truly is, a confession of their own internal emptiness. They are reaching out because they are bored, lonely, or failing, and they remembered you were once a reliable source of light. But today, the light is staying on for you. To a narcissist, relationships are transactional, like a subscription service they can pause and resume whenever they want. When they text you after a long time, it's because they've decided they want to reactivate your account. They don't see the pain the pause caused you. They only see that they have a need right now, and you are a familiar solution. It's a cold, clinical assessment of your value as a resource, nothing more. This is what we call hoovering. Like a vacuum cleaner, they are trying to suck you back into the vortex of their drama. The out-of-the-blue text is a sonar ping. They are sending a signal into the dark to see what bounces back. If you reply, even if you reply with anger, they've won. because a reply means the line is still active. It means they still have access to your emotions. Negative attention is still supplied to a hungry narcissist. You have to understand the internal void they live with every day. A narcissist is like a sieve. No matter how much love, attention, or money you pour into them, it all leaks out the bottom. They can't hold on to it. So, when they are between victims, or when their current victim is finally fighting back, they feel that void growing. They get bored. And a bored narcissist is a dangerous one. They start scrolling through their old contacts. You aren't a human being to them. You are a supply archetype. Maybe you were the one who always listened, the one who always lent money, or the one who always gave amazing ego strokes. When they text you, they are looking for that specific flavor of supply again. They aren't thinking about your new life or your new partner. They are looking for the version of you that exists in their memory, the one they could control and manipulate. Often, the out-of-the-blue text means their new supply has failed them. Maybe the new person saw through the mask faster than you did. Maybe the new person has actual boundaries that the narcissist can't break. In their frustration, they retreat to what is safe and known. They come back to you because they think you're an easy target. It's an insult to your intelligence, disguised as a casual check-in. They are looking for a soft landing. There is no concept of time in the narcissistic mind the way there is in yours. They don't feel the weight of the months of silence. To them, the relationship is just a file they can reopen. This is why they act so casual. They are trying to reset the dynamic without having to apologize for the past. If they can get you to engage in a normal conversation, they've successfully bypassed accountability. It's a psychological factory reset attempt. Think of them as a child playing with a toy. They got bored and threw the toy in the corner for 6 months. Now, they're bored again and they want that specific toy back. They don't care that the toy is dusty or hurt. They just want to play. When you respond, you are jumping back into the toy box. They aren't interested in your growth or your healing. They are only interested in whether or not you will still make the squeak sound when they squeeze. They are also testing your emotional threshold. They want to see how much disrespect you will tolerate. By disappearing and then reappearing without an explanation, they are asserting dominance. They are saying, I can come and go as I please, and you will still be there. If you let them back in without a massive change in behavior, you are teaching them that their disappearance has no consequences. You are training them to discard you again. There's a hidden element of surveillance in these texts. Sometimes they reach out just to see if you're doing better than them. If they hear you're happy, they'll try to ruin it. If they hear you're struggling, they'll gloat. The out-of-the-blue message is a fishing expedition for information. They want to know the state of the union of your life so they can figure out how to best insert themselves back into the narrative. Knowledge is power to them. Ultimately, the text means they are seeking a hit of significance. They want to feel like they still matter. Seeing your name pop up in their inbox gives them a rush of ego. See? I still have them on the hook, they tell themselves. They are using you to validate their own existence because they have no internal sense of self. Your response is the mirror they need to feel real. But you don't have to be their mirror anymore. You can be a stone wall. This is the moment where the story shifts. Up until now, you've been the reactor. You've been the one waiting, the one hoping, and the one hurt by the silence. But now, that text is sitting there, and for the first time, you have the upper hand. The power dynamic has tilted because they are the one who reached out. They are the one who is hungry. They are the one who is revealing their need. And you? You are the one who gets to decide the ending. Imagine the narcissist's face as they wait for your reply. They are arrogant, sure, but they are also deeply anxious. They need that ping to feel okay. Every minute that goes by without a response is a minute where their ego is being bruised. They are used to you jumping. They are used to your immediate emotional reaction. When you don't give it to them, you are rewriting the script in real time. You are becoming the person they can't control. There is a profound silence that follows a non-response. It's a silence that carries weight. It's not the silence of abandonment. It's the silence of sovereignty. By choosing not to answer, you are reclaiming every hour you spent crying over them. You are saying, my energy is no longer for sale. The narcissist will start to panic. They might send a second text, or a third, each one getting more desperate or more angry. Watch the mask start to slip. This is the psychological plot twist they didn't see coming. They thought you were a predictable character in their movie. But you've moved on to a different genre. You aren't in a romance or a tragedy anymore. You're in a documentary about a survivor. The out of the blue text is the moment you realize that the monster isn't actually scary. It's just a broken, repetitive machine. The fear starts to dissipate, replaced by a cold, clear indifference. Think about the unread status on that message. It is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal. It is a boundary that requires no words. It is a no that echoes through their entire internal world. You are finally matching their silence, but with a different intention. Their silence was about neglect. Your silence is about protection. You are finally putting your own peace above their need for attention. And it feels like a revolution. As you sit with the text, you realize that you no longer need the closure you once begged for. The text itself is the closure. It proves they haven't changed. It proves they still think they can use you. It proves they have no respect for your journey. You don't need a conversation to find the truth. The truth is right there in the hey they sent at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. They've revealed their hand, and it's a losing one. You are finally done. The narcissist's out of the blue text is actually a confession of their own weakness. They wouldn't be reaching out if their current life was fulfilling. They wouldn't be bothering you if they were actually the happy, successful person they pretend to be on social media. They are reaching back into the past because their present is a wasteland. You aren't being chosen, you are being scavenged. Realizing this changes everything. You aren't lucky, they are desperate. This is the turning point where you stop being the battery and start being the power plant. You realize that you were the one providing all the light and warmth in that relationship. They were just a consumer. And now, you've decided to shut off the supply. The narcissist is left in the dark, fumbling for a connection that no longer exists. You aren't just ignoring a text, you are reclaiming your soul. The table has turned, and you are leaving the room. You'll feel a strange sense of calm wash over you as you realize the magic has faded. The words on the screen don't have the charge they used to. They look small. They look pathetic. The grand narcissist has been reduced to a notification that you can just swipe away. This is the moment of deep, internal empowerment. You have outgrown the person who once defined your world. You have become too big for their tiny, manipulative games. The transition is complete. You are no longer waiting for them to see you. You finally see yourself. And the person you see is someone who deserves a hell of a lot more than a breadcrumb text after months of neglect. You are moving toward the final truth. The narcissist's return isn't a second chance at love. It's a final test of your self-respect. And you are passing with flying colors. The script is yours now. Let's look at what happens next. When the Hoover fails, the narcissist enters a state of extinction burst. If the hey doesn't work, they might try a fake emergency. You might get a text saying they're in the hospital or that they've had a realization they need to share with you. This is the consequence of your silence. They are amping up the drama because the low-stakes bait didn't work. It's a dark, honest look at the lengths they will go to just to get a reaction. The out-of-the-blue text is the first step toward their eventual narcissistic collapse. They are reaching back because they are losing their grip on their current reality. When you refuse to be their safety net, you are allowing them to face the natural consequences of their own actions. You aren't being cruel, you are being consistent. Their misery is a product of their own choices, and you are finally refusing to be the shock absorber for their life. One of the harshest truths about this stage is realizing that they would do it all over again if you let them. The out-of-the-blue text isn't a new beginning. It's the start of the same old cycle. If you go back, the love bombing will be shorter, the devaluation will be harsher, and the discard will be more brutal. The consequence of their return is the guaranteed repetition of your pain. You have to be unflinching in your honesty about this. The narcissist is a ghost haunting their own past. They can't move forward because they can't grow. They are destined to keep circling back to the people they've already burned. This is their consequence. A life of repetition compulsion where they never find real intimacy. They are reaching out to you because they are terrified of being alone with their own emptiness. But you are no longer the distraction from their soul-crushing void. There is a specific pain in being remembered only when someone is hungry. It's a dehumanizing feeling. The consequence of their out-of-the-blue text is the final shattering of the special illusion. You weren't special to them, you were just convenient. Realizing this is dark and honest, but it is the truth that sets you free. You are finally letting go of the hope that kept you tethered to a predator. You are accepting the ugly reality of their nature. As you remain silent, the narcissist might pivot to a smear campaign. If they can't have you, they'll try to make sure no one else wants you either. They'll tell people you're crazy or bitter for not responding. This is the consequence of their failed manipulation. They are trying to reclaim control through the opinions of others. But here's the truth. Anyone who believes their lies isn't someone you need in your circle anyway. Let them talk. The cost of their silence was your peace, and the cost of their return is your chaos. You have to decide if that, hey, is worth the price of your mental health. The consequence of engaging is a return to the hypervigilance, the gaslighting, and the walking on eggshells. The narcissist's presence is a toxin in your system. By staying silent, you are choosing your health over their hunger. You are finally prioritizing your own life. The narcissist's life is a wasteland of broken bridges. The out-of-the-blue text is them trying to cross a bridge they already burned. But the bridge is gone. The consequence for them is the cold realization that some things are irreversible. They think they are the exceptions to the rules of human connection, but they are finally finding out that they are not. Your silence is the mirror that reflects their own irrelevance back to them. You are closing the door on the trauma cycle for good. The consequence of this Hoover attempt is that it forces you to solidify your boundaries. It's the final exam in your recovery. By passing it, you are ensuring that they never get another chance to disrupt your peace. You are burying the version of you that was a victim, and you are doing it with a calm, steady hand. The narcissist is becoming a footnote in your autobiography. They will go on to the next person, and the next, and the next. That is their consequence, a life of hollow pursuits. But you are walking away with the most valuable thing in the world, your self. The narcissist's out-of-the-blue text was the final discard. You needed to finally, truly discard them. You are no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop because you've already taken the shoes off and walked away. The end is finally here. We have reached the final truth, and it's one you need to carry in your heart like a shield. The narcissist's out-of-the-blue text was never about your value. It was about their deficiency. They didn't come back because you are amazing even though you are. They came back because they are empty. You are not a pit stop on their way to a better life. You are a destination they lost the right to visit. Reclaim your value from their hands. Healing isn't about the absence of the Hoover, it's about your reaction to it. The buzz of the phone might always cause a split second of anxiety, but the power comes in what you do next. When you can look at that text and feel nothing but a mild, detached curiosity before deleting it, that is the moment you have truly healed. You aren't forgetting the trauma, you are outgrowing it. You are becoming a person that a narcissist can no longer read. There is a profound beauty in the block button. It is a digital boundary that reflects an internal finality. It's not an act of anger, it's an act of preservation. By blocking them, you are telling the universe that you are ready for something real, something healthy, and something new. You are clearing the static so you can finally hear the music of your own life. You are making room for the people who will actually see you and stay. Speak directly to that inner child who is still waiting for the apology. Tell them that the hey on the screen is all the apology they are ever going to get. It's an apology in the form of an admission of need. They need you, but they don't deserve you. You are the parent now, and you are protecting that child from the person who hurt them. You are finally giving yourself the closure that you spent so long looking for in their eyes. You are building a life so full, so vibrant, and so authentic that their out-of-the-blue messages feel like static from a broken radio. You have new friends, new passions, and a new sense of peace. The narcissist is a ghost, and ghosts only have power if you believe in them. You've stopped believing. You've realized that the grand narcissist was just a scared, manipulative person hiding behind a mask. The mystery is gone. The spell is broken. This is the cinematic ending you deserve. Not a reunion with a monster, but a reunion with yourself. You are standing in the sunlight of your own truth. The narcissist text was the final test, and you passed it by simply doing nothing. Silence is your greatest revenge, though you don't even need revenge anymore. You just need peace. And you finally found it. That out-of-the-blue text was just the final confirmation of your freedom. I want you to look at your phone one last time and see it for what it is. A tool for connection, not a weapon for your destruction. You control who has access to your time and energy. You are the gatekeeper of your own soul. The narcissist's return was a reminder of where you've been, but it's not a map for where you are going. You are walking toward a horizon that is wide, bright, and completely empty of their shadow. You are home. The final revelation is this: they haven't changed, but you have. You are no longer a source. You are a person. You are no longer a resource. You are a soul. The narcissist's out-of-the-blue text was an attempt to drag you back into the object category. But you've refused to go. You've claimed your humanity, and in doing so, you've become invisible to the narcissist's radar. They only see what they can use, and they can't use you anymore. Take one more deep, grounding breath. Feel the strength in your chest. You have survived the storm, and you have survived the Hoover. You are standing on solid ground. The narcissist's out-of-the-blue text was just a dying echo from a cave you've already exited. You don't need to shout back. You don't even need to whisper. Your silence is the final word in a conversation that lasted far too long. The conversation is officially over. If a narcissist texts you out of the blue after months of silence, it doesn't mean they've finally realized your worth. It means they've finally realized their own worthlessness without your light.